Universe. Edge. Why reality itself begins to collapse beyond this point. There is a terrifying possibility hidden inside modern cosmology that almost nobody talks about openly. The universe may not simply end one day, it may slowly erase itself from existence, long before that happens. Right now, as you watch this video, galaxies are vanishing beyond invisible boundaries faster than light can carry their final signals toward us. Entire regions of the cosmos are slipping away forever, becoming permanently unreachable, permanently unknowable, as though reality itself is closing doors behind us one by one. For most of human history, we believed the universe was a vast open ocean waiting to be explored. We imagined that with enough intelligence, enough technology, enough time, humanity could eventually uncover every secret hidden among the stars. But the deeper science looked into the cosmos, the more disturbing the truth became. The universe is not revealing itself to us, it is hiding. Modern physics suggests that there are limits beyond which knowledge may never travel. Invisible horizons surround our existence like prison walls. Beyond them, entire galaxies, structures, and perhaps entire layers of reality remain forever disconnected from human observation. And what lies near those boundaries is even more disturbing. Because at the most extreme edges of the cosmos, something begins to break. Time behaves strangely, space twists into impossible geometries, gravity becomes infinitely violent, quantum mechanics starts fighting against relativity itself. The equations humanity trusts to describe reality begin collapsing under their own contradictions. It is as if the universe contains regions where existence itself becomes unstable. Tonight, we are not exploring planets, stars, or black holes as isolated objects. We are traveling toward the point where reality begins to fail. You will see why scientists now believe the cosmos may contain invisible borders beyond which causality dissolves, why empty space itself may hide catastrophic instability, and why the human mind may not be capable of understanding what truly exists at the deepest foundations of reality. But the most unsettling revelation comes later. Because if the universe can erase its own history, destroy its own visibility, and dissolve the laws that created it, then one terrifying question emerges from the darkness. What if the edge of the universe is not the end of space, but the point where meaning itself collapses? The day the universe disappeared from itself. Imagine standing beneath a night sky trillions of years from now. No galaxies stretching across the darkness. No glowing rivers of stars beyond the borders of a single isolated system. No evidence that the cosmos was ever alive with unimaginable structures scattered across infinite distance. The universe would appear silent, static, eternal, and terrifyingly empty. A civilization born in that distant future would believe they were alone, not emotionally alone, cosmically alone. They would search the heavens with instruments far beyond anything humanity possesses today, and they would find almost nothing beyond their own gravitational island. No cosmic background radiation, no visible expansion of space, no ancient light carrying the memory of a beginning. The sky itself would conceal the truth. And the most disturbing part is this: they would be wrong. The universe they inhabit would still contain billions upon billions of galaxies beyond comprehension, but those galaxies would exist forever outside their reach, forever disconnected from observation, as though reality itself had hidden its own history behind invisible walls. This is not a fantasy imagined for science fiction. It is one of the most unsettling predictions in modern cosmology. Right now, while you are listening to this, the universe is slowly disappearing from itself. For centuries, humanity imagined space as a giant stage where galaxies drifted peacefully through a stable cosmic landscape. But the deeper science explored the structure of reality, the stranger the truth became. Space is not empty. Space is dynamic. It stretches, it expands, it carries galaxies away from one another like leaves floating apart on an invisible ocean that grows larger every second. The discovery changed everything humanity believed about existence. In the 20th century, astronomers noticed something deeply strange. Distant galaxies were moving away from us, and the farther they appeared, the faster they receded into darkness. At first, this sounded impossible. It seemed to suggest that Earth occupied some special position at the center of the cosmos. But that was not the answer. The reality was far more unsettling. Every galaxy sees every other distant galaxy moving away because space itself is expanding everywhere simultaneously. The universe has no center in the conventional sense. Reality itself is stretching in all directions at once. Imagine drawing dots on the surface of a balloon. As the balloon expands, every dot moves farther away from every other dot, not because the dots are traveling across the surface, but because the surface itself is growing beneath them. Now replace the balloon with the fabric of space-time itself. That is the universe you live in. But expansion alone is not the true horror. The true horror is what expansion eventually destroys. Light travels at a finite speed. Every image you see in the sky is ancient history crossing unimaginable distances to reach your eyes. Some stars appear as they were hundreds of years ago. Some galaxies appear as they existed millions or billions of years in the past. You never see the universe as it is. You see echoes racing against time, and there exists a terrifying limit hidden inside this cosmic arrangement. Beyond a certain distance, space expands so rapidly that light emitted toward us can never overcome the stretching of the universe. The photons continue traveling forever, but the distance they must cross grows faster than they can move. Those galaxies do not explode. They do not vanish physically. They simply fall beyond the edge of possible interaction, forever. Scientists call this the cosmic horizon, but that phrase barely captures the existential weight of what it means. It is not merely a visual boundary. It is a wall surrounding human knowledge itself. Beyond that limit, events become permanently disconnected from our reality. No message can arrive, no spacecraft can cross, no future discovery can retrieve what expansion has erased. The observable universe is not expanding endlessly in the way most people imagine. In a deeper sense, it is shrinking. Every year, more galaxies cross beyond the horizon of causality. Every year, the visible cosmos loses fragments of itself forever. The night sky is slowly being emptied by the expansion of reality. Humanity exists during an extraordinarily brief moment in cosmic history when the universe is still visible enough to understand. That realization alone should transform the way you look at existence. You are alive during the only era when intelligent life may be capable of discovering the truth about cosmic origins. In the far future, the evidence will disappear. Entire civilizations may develop advanced science, philosophy, and mathematics, yet never uncover the existence of the Big Bang because the universe itself will have concealed every trace of it. Reality may not preserve truth indefinitely. Reality may erase truth as naturally as it creates stars, and this raises a question so disturbing that it changes the meaning of observation itself. If the universe can hide entire galaxies beyond unreachable horizons, if expansion can permanently delete visible history from existence, then how much reality has already disappeared before humanity ever arrived to witness it? Perhaps the cosmos we observe tonight is only a surviving fragment of something vastly greater. A fading remnant suspended inside an ocean of invisible worlds already lost beyond the edge of perception. The invisible wall that surrounds human existence. There is a boundary surrounding your life right now that no human being will ever cross. You cannot see it, you cannot touch it, and yet it defines the limits of everything humanity will ever know. For most of history, people imagined ignorance as a temporary condition. The unknown existed only because civilization had not advanced far enough yet. Every century seemed to reinforce that belief. Telescopes expanded our vision. Mathematics unlocked hidden laws. Spacecraft crossed the solar system. Humanity developed the quiet confidence that eventually, given enough time and intelligence, the universe would surrender all its secrets. But modern cosmology delivered a terrifying contradiction to that dream. Some parts of reality are not hidden because we are primitive. They are hidden because the structure of the universe itself forbids access to them. Imagine standing in the middle of an endless ocean during a storm at night. Your flashlight cuts through the darkness for a certain distance, but beyond that radius, nothing can ever be seen. Not because there is nothing there, but because the light itself cannot travel far enough to reveal it. Now imagine that this limitation is not technological. It is woven into the architecture of existence itself. This is the true meaning of the cosmic horizon. Human beings often think of the observable universe as the entire cosmos, but it is not. It is only the portion from which light has had enough time to reach us since the beginning of cosmic expansion. Beyond that visible bubble lies a potentially infinite reality permanently disconnected from our observation. And the deeper scientists investigated this horizon, the stranger it became. The observable universe is not a frontier waiting to be crossed. It is a prison wall. Even if humanity survives for millions of years, even if civilizations become immortal, even if technology evolves beyond imagination, there are regions of existence that can never be reached because space itself expands too rapidly between us and them. This changes the meaning of exploration forever. The ancient dream of traveling anywhere in the cosmos collapses against a terrifying truth. Reality contains inaccessible zones where causality breaks apart completely. Entire galaxies are already moving away from us faster than any future spacecraft could ever pursue. Not because they travel through space quickly, because space itself is carrying them beyond contact. And the farther humanity looks into the universe, the more disturbing this becomes. When astronomers observe distant galaxies, they are not merely seeing faraway objects. They are looking backward through time itself. Some galaxies appear as they existed billions of years ago, when the universe was young, violent, and filled with raw cosmic fire. But there comes a distance where observation reaches a limit. Beyond that point, no information can ever arrive. No future event occurring there will ever influence Earth. No signal sent today will ever reach those regions. They are not part of humanity's future. In a profound sense, they are no longer part of humanity's reality. Try to understand how strange this truly is. The universe may contain structures larger than anything we can imagine. Entire civilizations may exist beyond the cosmic horizon. Vast regions of physics may operate under conditions humanity will never observe. There may even be layers of reality fundamentally disconnected from our entire observable cosmos. And we will never know. Not because science failed, because reality itself imposes silence. This realization shattered one of the oldest assumptions in human thought: the belief that existence is ultimately understandable. The invisible wall surrounding us is not made of matter. It is made of time, expansion, and the finite speed of light. It surrounds every human being from birth, enclosing civilization inside a shrinking sphere of observable truth. And the wall is moving. As dark energy accelerates the expansion of the universe, more galaxies disappear beyond causal contact forever. The observable cosmos slowly contracts into isolation. One day, only our local gravitational group of stars and galaxies will remain visible, surrounded by eternal darkness. Future astronomers may conclude that nothing exists beyond their own galactic neighborhood because all evidence of the greater cosmos will have vanished. The universe itself will become unknowable. Think about what that means for intelligence. Humanity often imagines knowledge as a ladder, climbing infinitely upward. But perhaps intelligence was never meant to understand the whole of existence. Perhaps consciousness evolved only to perceive a tiny, survivable fragment of reality, while the vast majority of the cosmos remains permanently inaccessible. The invisible wall may not simply surround human civilization. It may surround every possible civilization that will ever exist. And beyond that wall lies the most terrifying possibility of all. Not merely unknown worlds, but regions where the laws of reality themselves begin to fail. When the laws of physics begin to panic, humanity built modern civilization on a dangerous assumption. The assumption that the universe makes sense. Every bridge ever constructed, every spacecraft ever launched, every equation ever written by the human mind depends on one silent belief. That reality follows stable laws which can be understood, predicted, and trusted. For centuries, science appeared to confirm this confidence. Physics transformed chaos into order. Gravity explained the motion of planets. Relativity revealed the structure of spacetime. Quantum mechanics unlocked the hidden behavior of atoms. Each discovery strengthened the belief that the universe was ultimately rational, as though existence itself obeyed a coherent design waiting patiently to be decoded. But then, science traveled deeper into the cosmos, and the laws began to break apart. At first, the fractures seemed small. Strange anomalies appeared inside equations describing black holes, gravity, and subatomic particles. Physicists assumed these contradictions would eventually disappear once a more complete theory emerged. Instead, the contradictions became worse. The closer humanity approached the extreme edges of reality, the more violently the foundations of physics turned against one another. Imagine two maps of Earth so accurate that each one predicts the movement of oceans, storms, mountains, and continents with astonishing precision. But the moment the maps overlap, The continents no longer align. Entire oceans appear in impossible places. The geography destroys itself. That is what happened when humanity tried to unite the two greatest scientific achievements in history: general relativity and quantum mechanics. General relativity describes gravity on cosmic scales. It explains planets, stars, galaxies, and the curvature of spacetime itself. According to Einstein's equations, gravity is not a force pulling objects together through empty space. Massive objects distort spacetime itself, bending reality around them. Quantum mechanics describes an entirely different universe, a microscopic world governed by uncertainty, probability, fluctuations, and bizarre behaviors that defy human intuition. In quantum physics, particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously. Empty space vibrates with invisible energy. Reality behaves less like a machine and more like a storm of probabilities constantly shifting beneath observation. Separately, both systems work with terrifying accuracy. Together, they become catastrophic. Near black holes, inside singularities, and during the first moments after the birth of the universe, the equations collapse into mathematical absurdity. Space curves infinitely. Density becomes infinite. Time behaves unpredictably. Quantum fluctuations explode uncontrollably. The laws describing reality begin generating impossible answers. Infinity, division by zero, physical contradictions, moments where the universe itself appears mathematically undefined. And this is where cosmology becomes deeply unsettling. Because these breakdowns do not necessarily mean human equations are incomplete. They may reveal something much more disturbing. Reality itself may not remain stable under extreme conditions. At the center of a black hole lies one of the greatest nightmares in physics: the singularity. According to general relativity, matter collapses into a point of infinite density where space-time curvature becomes infinite as well. The equations stop functioning entirely. Imagine traveling toward such a region. Gravity stretches space-time so violently that time itself begins slowing relative to the outside universe. Light bends into impossible paths. Distance loses familiar meaning. The closer you move toward the singularity, the less the universe resembles anything recognizable. Eventually, physics no longer provides valid descriptions of what exists, not because scientists become confused, because the structure of reality reaches a state where human concepts may no longer apply. Inside these regions, cause and effect may lose coherence. Space and time may cease behaving as separate dimensions. The universe enters conditions so extreme that existence itself appears internally fractured. And black holes are not the only problem. The birth of the universe presents the same terrifying instability. When scientists mathematically reverse cosmic expansion backward through time, all matter, energy, and space-time collapse toward an infinitely dense beginning. Once again, the equations fail. Once again, the laws of physics panic at the threshold of creation itself. It is as though reality contains forbidden zones where its own operating system crashes. Think about the psychological impact of that realization. Human beings evolved believing the universe was solid, continuous, and reliable. We trust the ground beneath our feet. We trust time to move forward. We trust cause to produce effect. But beneath those assumptions lies a terrifying possibility. Reality may only appear stable under specific conditions. Beyond those conditions, the cosmos may descend into mathematical chaos, where the laws sustaining existence begin tearing themselves apart. And perhaps the most disturbing part is this: the deeper science explores, the more evidence suggests that space-time itself may not be fundamental at all. Some theories propose that space and time emerge from deeper quantum structures humanity barely understands. The universe we experience may be more like a temporary surface projected over hidden dimensions of incomprehensible complexity. If that is true, then everything humanity calls reality may rest upon foundations far stranger and far less stable than we ever imagined. And ahead lies an even darker question. What happens when the collapse spreads beyond physics itself and time begins to disappear? The cosmic regions where time stops existing. Human beings experience time as something absolute. You wake up in the morning. Your body ages. Memories accumulate behind you while the future approaches from ahead. Every instinct inside the human mind assumes time flows in a single direction, like a river carrying all existence forward without pause. But the universe does not experience time the way you do, and in certain regions of the cosmos, time may not exist at all. This realization began as one of the strangest consequences of Einstein's theory of relativity. Before Einstein, time was imagined as a universal clock ticking identically everywhere in existence. Whether on Earth, inside a distant galaxy, or near a star, time itself was assumed to move uniformly across the cosmos. Relativity destroyed that belief completely. According to Einstein, time is not separate from the universe. It is woven directly into space-time itself, capable of stretching, slowing, bending, and distorting under the influence of gravity and motion. The faster you move through space, the slower time moves relative to others. The stronger the gravity surrounding you, the slower your clock progresses compared to distant observers. This is not philosophy, it is measurable reality. Astronauts aboard satellites experience time slightly differently than people on Earth. GPS systems must constantly correct for relativistic distortions or global navigation would collapse. Time itself bends continuously throughout the universe depending on speed and gravity. But relativity reveals something far more terrifying near extreme cosmic structures. Near a black hole, time begins to unravel. Imagine approaching one of these objects slowly. From your perspective, your experience seems normal. Your heartbeat continues, your thoughts flow naturally. But to an outside observer watching from a safe distance, something horrifying occurs. Your time begins slowing. As gravity intensifies, space-time curves more violently around you. Seconds stretch. Movements become delayed. Light escaping your body loses energy, growing redder and dimmer against the darkness. Closer still, the distortion becomes catastrophic. To the outside universe, you appear almost frozen in place near the event horizon, trapped at the edge of time itself while billions of years pass across the cosmos beyond you. This means black holes do not merely trap matter. They deform time so severely that the normal structure of reality begins collapsing. And according to physics, conditions become even stranger deeper inside. Beyond the event horizon, every possible future leads toward the singularity. Space and time exchange roles in ways the human mind struggles to visualize. Moving forward through time becomes as unavoidable as moving downward through space under gravity. But at the singularity itself, the equations fail entirely. Time may stop existing. Not slow down, not behave differently, disappear. Science reaches a terrifying boundary where the concept of before and after no longer carries meaning. Try to imagine what that actually implies. Human consciousness depends completely on sequential experience. Thoughts require progression. Memory requires order. Identity itself depends on time separating past from present. Without time, there is no change. Without change, there is no motion. Without motion, there may be no meaningful existence at all. And yet modern cosmology suggests the universe may contain multiple regions where time dissolves into something incomprehensible. The deeper humanity explores the structure of reality, the more temporary time appears to become. Even the future of the entire universe points toward this terrifying possibility. Scientists call it heat death, a future state where cosmic expansion continues for unimaginable spans of time until stars burn out, galaxies decay, and all usable energy becomes evenly distributed across the universe. Eventually, no gradients remain, no reactions occur, no meaningful processes continue. The cosmos reaches maximum entropy, absolute stillness. In such a universe, time loses practical meaning because nothing changes anymore. Without events, motion, or transformation, the distinction between one moment and another begins collapsing into irrelevance. The universe does not explode. It fades into timeless silence. But quantum physics introduces an even stranger possibility. Some theories suggest time itself may not be fundamental. Instead, it could emerge from deeper quantum relationships between particles and information. In other words, time may not exist beneath reality. It may only appear under specific conditions. Imagine discovering that the flow of time was not a permanent feature of existence, but a temporary illusion generated by motion, entropy, and consciousness itself. That possibility transforms everything humanity believes about life and death. Because if time emerges under certain conditions, then there may exist cosmic regions where the distinction between past, present, and future completely disappears. Some physicists even suggest that at the deepest quantum level, the universe may exist as a timeless structure where all moments coexist simultaneously beyond human perception. Your birth, your death, the formation of galaxies, the extinction of stars, all existing together inside a reality untouched by temporal flow. And this creates one of the most disturbing philosophical consequences in all of cosmology. If time is not fundamental, then perhaps the universe itself is not truly evolving. Perhaps reality already exists in its entirety, while consciousness merely moves through fragments of it like a beam of light crossing an infinite structure. The human experience of time may be nothing more than a localized illusion generated inside a much stranger cosmos. And somewhere beyond the visible boundaries of existence, there may be regions where that illusion completely collapses. But even time dissolving into nothingness is not the greatest danger hidden in the universe, because empty space itself may contain a nightmare waiting silently beneath reality. The nightmare hidden inside. Empty space. Human beings fear explosions, collisions, supernovas, black holes, and the violent destruction of stars. But the greatest threat in the universe may not come from something massive or visible. It may come from empty space itself. Right now, as you sit here listening, every atom in your body exists inside what appears to be stable reality. The laws of physics behave consistently. Electrons orbit atoms, light travels through space, gravity shapes galaxies, chemistry allows life to exist. The universe feels permanent, reliable, safe enough for consciousness to emerge and contemplate the stars. But modern physics hides a terrifying possibility beneath that comforting illusion. Reality itself may be unstable. To understand this nightmare, you must first abandon the human idea of emptiness. What people call empty space is not truly empty. Quantum physics revealed something deeply strange hiding beneath the vacuum of the cosmos. Even in regions where no matter exists, space continues vibrating with invisible energy fields fluctuating constantly beneath reality. Particles briefly appear and disappear. Quantum activity never fully stops. The vacuum of space behaves less like nothingness and more like an ocean of hidden tension beneath the visible universe. And according to some theories, the universe may currently exist in a dangerously temporary state inside that ocean. Physicists call this possibility the false vacuum. Imagine placing a ball inside a shallow valley on a mountainside. At first glance, the ball appears stable. It rests peacefully without movement. But the valley is not truly the lowest possible position. Somewhere deeper below lies a much larger valley representing a more stable state. All it takes is one disturbance, one transition, one collapse, and the ball falls catastrophically downward into a new configuration. Now replace the ball with the entire universe. This is the horrifying implication hidden inside false vacuum theory. The laws of physics governing reality may not represent the universe's final stable condition. Everything humanity depends on could merely exist inside a temporary energetic arrangement suspended above a deeper and more stable vacuum state. In other words, reality itself may be balancing over a cliff. And if that vacuum ever collapses, the consequences become almost impossible to comprehend. A vacuum decay event would not behave like a conventional explosion moving through space. It would rewrite space itself. Imagine a bubble forming somewhere in the cosmos where the vacuum suddenly transitions into a lower energy state. Inside that bubble, the laws of physics would instantly change. The masses of particles could shift. Atoms might no longer hold together. Chemistry could collapse. Light itself could behave differently. The bubble would expand outward at nearly the speed of light, consuming everything in its path. Galaxies, stars, planets, life, memory, history, erased instantly, not destroyed in flames, overwritten by a different version of reality. And the most terrifying part is this: no warning would ever arrive. Because the bubble expands at the speed of causality itself, no observer could detect it approaching. One moment, reality exists normally. The next moment, every structure sustaining existence disappears permanently. Some physicists believe the universe has remained stable for billions of years, and therefore such a catastrophe is unlikely. But unlikely is not impossible. And modern measurements of certain quantum fields suggest something deeply disturbing. The universe may exist dangerously close to instability. Even scientists discussing these theories often sound uncomfortable, because the implications strike directly at the human desire for permanence. Civilization assumes the universe is fundamentally secure enough for the future to unfold predictably. False vacuum theory destroys that comfort completely. Reality may survive only because catastrophe has not happened yet. Think about the psychological weight of that possibility. Every moment of human history, every empire, every war, every love story, every memory carried by consciousness across time may exist inside a temporary cosmic condition that could vanish without warning. The universe may not die gradually, it may disappear instantly. And strangely, this possibility emerges naturally from humanity's deepest attempts to understand reality at the quantum level. The more science penetrates beneath matter, beneath atoms, beneath particles themselves, the more existence begins resembling a fragile arrangement balanced atop invisible uncertainty. What appears solid is unstable. What appears eternal is temporary. Even the vacuum of space contains hidden danger. But false vacuum collapse reveals something even more unsettling beneath the surface of cosmology. The laws of physics themselves may not be fixed universally. There may be regions of reality governed by entirely different structures, different dimensions, different constants, and different versions of existence beyond anything the human brain evolved to comprehend. And that leads toward a terrifying possibility. Perhaps the universe is not a single stable reality at all. Perhaps it is fractured beneath the surface into deeper layers humanity was never meant to perceive. Mathematician Kurt Gödel proved something profoundly unsettling. Within any sufficiently complex mathematical system, there exist true statements that can never be proven from within the system itself. In other words, no logical framework can fully explain itself completely. There will always be truths beyond formal reach. Some physicists and philosophers believe reality may operate under similar constraints. The universe may contain aspects fundamentally inaccessible to any conscious observer embedded inside it. Intelligence itself could possess unavoidable blind spots imposed by the structure of existence. This changes the meaning of ignorance forever. The greatest mysteries of the cosmos may not remain unsolved because humanity lacks time or technology. They may remain unsolved because biological consciousness encounters a permanent wall beyond which comprehension breaks apart. And perhaps that wall already surrounds us. Think carefully about what this means. Human civilization often imagines itself moving steadily toward complete understanding, as though science will eventually illuminate every dark corner of existence. But what if the universe does not allow total understanding? What if consciousness itself becomes unstable when approaching the deepest layers of reality? Perhaps certain truths cannot be survived psychologically. Perhaps ultimate reality appears so alien, so detached from human intuition, that the mind instinctively rejects it to preserve functional sanity. The cosmos may not merely be stranger than humanity imagined, it may be stranger than humanity is capable of imagining. And beyond those cognitive limits lies an even darker possibility. Reality itself may not be continuous at all. Beneath spacetime, beneath matter, beneath perception, the universe may already be fractured into something broken, unstable, and infinitely stranger than the human mind was ever meant to see. The universe may be made of broken realities. Human beings experience reality as something smooth. Space appears continuous. Time flows seamlessly forward. Matter feels solid beneath your hands. The universe seems stable enough to build civilizations, memories, identities, and histories upon it. But beneath that familiar surface, modern physics suggests something deeply disturbing. Reality may not be continuous at all. The universe may be fractured beneath perception into microscopic instability, so violent and chaotic that space-time itself resembles a broken structure barely holding together. To understand how terrifying this possibility truly is, you must abandon the image of space as an empty stage where matter simply exists. According to quantum theory, empty space is alive with fluctuations occurring constantly beneath observable reality. Even in total vacuum, invisible activity never fully disappears. Particles emerge from nothing and vanish again. Energy fluctuates spontaneously. Fields ripple beneath existence continuously. At ordinary scales, these fluctuations are too small to notice. Reality appears smooth because human consciousness experiences only large-scale averages of deeper microscopic chaos. But when physicists mathematically descend toward the smallest possible scales in existence, the structure of space-time begins behaving like a storm, a violent sea beneath the illusion of stability. Scientists call this domain the Planck scale. At distances unimaginably smaller than atoms, space-time may lose all smoothness completely. The neat geometry described by relativity collapses into quantum turbulence, where space twists, folds, tears, and reconnects unpredictably. John Wheeler, One of the great physicists of the 20th century described this hidden domain with a haunting phrase: quantum foam. Imagine looking at the surface of the ocean from high above. From a distance, the water appears calm and continuous. But up close, the surface becomes chaotic, filled with crashing waves, turbulence, and violent motion. Reality itself may operate the same way. The stable universe humanity experiences could merely be the large-scale appearance of a deeper quantum storm raging beneath existence. And inside that storm, the very concept of location may break apart. At the Planck scale, distances become uncertain. Time intervals fluctuate. Cause and effect blur into probabilistic instability. Space may constantly generate microscopic wormholes, temporary fractures, and topological distortions appearing and vanishing faster than light can cross them. The deeper physics explores reality, the less existence resembles a solid structure. Instead, the universe begins looking more like a fluctuating computational process, struggling to maintain coherence. Some theories push this possibility even further. According to certain interpretations of quantum mechanics and cosmology, spacetime itself may not be fundamental. Space could emerge from deeper informational relationships connecting quantum systems beneath perception. The three-dimensional world you experience may be more like a projection generated from hidden structures existing beyond ordinary reality. In that case, what humans call the universe may resemble the visible surface of something vastly stranger underneath, and surfaces can crack. This possibility becomes especially disturbing near black holes. According to relativity, black holes compress matter into regions where space-time curvature grows infinitely extreme. Quantum theory predicts violent fluctuations near these conditions. When physicists attempt combining both systems, reality becomes unstable mathematically, suggesting that spacetime itself may fracture under sufficient pressure. Some theories propose that black holes create tunnels into other regions of spacetime. Others suggest they produce disconnected quantum geometries. Some even imply that the universe constantly branches into parallel realities through quantum processes occurring invisibly at microscopic scales. The implications become psychologically overwhelming. What if reality is not singular? What if existence is fragmented into countless unstable layers fluctuating beneath perception continuously? What if the universe humanity experiences is only one temporarily coherent structure floating inside a deeper field of broken possibilities? This would mean stability itself is an illusion. The atoms composing your body, the stars filling the night sky, the galaxies stretching across billions of light years may all emerge from deeper chaos hidden beneath space-time like fragile patterns forming briefly inside a cosmic storm. And there are clues suggesting the universe may already contain fractures humanity cannot explain. Some cosmologists have observed strange anomalies in the cosmic microwave background radiation, unusual alignments, and subtle irregularities in the structure of space-time that challenge standard cosmological models. Most likely, these anomalies will eventually find ordinary explanations, but the possibility remains unsettling. Reality may contain scars, tiny imperfections hinting that the universe itself is not entirely stable beneath its visible surface. Think about how profoundly this changes the human experience of existence. Civilization depends psychologically on continuity. People trust tomorrow will resemble today. They trust space will remain stable beneath their feet. They trust reality follows consistent rules. But beneath those assumptions may lie something radically different. The universe could be less like a machine and more like a constantly fluctuating process balancing on the edge of collapse. A temporary island of order floating atop deeper quantum instability. And perhaps consciousness itself exists only because reality remains coherent long enough for minds to emerge inside it. But coherence may not last forever, because somewhere in the unimaginable future of the cosmos, when stars vanish and darkness consumes all structure, only one final observer may remain to witness the slow extinction of reality itself. The final observer in the cosmos. Imagine a universe where every star is dead. No sunlight warming planets, no galaxies illuminating the abyss, no civilizations transmitting signals through the darkness, only silence stretching endlessly across a frozen cosmos. For most of human history, people feared the end of the world as a sudden catastrophe, explosions, fire, collapse, judgment descending violently from the heavens. But modern cosmology paints a far more unsettling picture of the future. The universe may not end in violence. It may end in loneliness. The deeper science studies cosmic evolution, the clearer one terrifying reality becomes. Everything visible in the night sky is temporary. Stars consume finite fuel. Galaxies exhaust the material required for new generations of suns. Black holes slowly evaporate through quantum radiation over incomprehensible stretches of time. The cosmos is moving toward darkness, not metaphorically, physically. Right now, the universe still glows because humanity lives during a brief stellar era where nuclear fusion fills the heavens with light. But this era is temporary beyond comprehension. One day, star formation will cease entirely. Existing stars will die one by one until the universe enters a frozen age populated mostly by dead stellar remnants drifting through expanding emptiness. White dwarfs, neutron stars, black holes, cold debris scattered across infinite darkness, and even those remnants will not survive forever. Given enough time, proton decay may slowly dismantle ordinary matter itself. Entire planets could dissolve into radiation over spans so immense that human language becomes meaningless attempting to describe them. Black holes, once thought eternal, will eventually evaporate through Hawking radiation until the final gravitational giants vanish into emptiness as well. The universe slowly approaches a condition where organized structure disappears completely. No stars, no heat, no light, no chemistry. Only near-absolute thermodynamic equilibrium spread across infinite expansion. Scientists call this the heat death of the universe, but the phrase barely captures its existential horror. Heat death does not mean burning. It means the end of meaningful change itself. Energy becomes evenly distributed so completely that no useful processes remain possible. No motion capable of creating complexity. No gradients capable of sustaining life. No systems capable of generating memory, evolution, or thought. Reality drifts into eternal stillness. And somewhere within that unimaginable future, there may exist one final conscious observer, one last intelligence surviving at the edge of cosmic extinction. Think carefully about what such a being would experience. Imagine existing in a universe where every visible galaxy has disappeared beyond expansion. Every star has died. Every civilization has vanished into unreachable history. No signals arrive from the darkness because nothing remains alive to send them. The night sky becomes completely black, not partially dark, absolutely empty. The final observer would inhabit the ruins of cosmic memory itself, perhaps inside an artificial structure orbiting a dying remnant star, perhaps as a digital consciousness surviving through advanced technology, perhaps as something entirely beyond modern human imagination. But regardless of form, that intelligence would confront the most terrifying realization in all of existence. The universe no longer remembers itself. Every story humanity ever created, every work of art, every scientific discovery, every civilization, war, triumph, failure, dream, and fear would vanish into irreversible cosmic silence. No witnesses remain, no records survive, no future consciousness exists to reconstruct what was lost. And this raises a philosophical question so disturbing that it has haunted thinkers for centuries. If no conscious being remains to observe reality, what does existence even mean? Human beings instinctively separate the universe from observation, imagining the cosmos continuing independently whether anyone watches it or not. But quantum mechanics complicated that assumption profoundly. Observation appears woven mysteriously into physical measurement itself. Consciousness interacts with reality in ways science still struggles to fully explain. Some interpretations of quantum theory even suggest that observation plays a fundamental role in determining physical states. Most physicists remain cautious about such conclusions, but the question refuses to disappear. What becomes of a universe containing no observers whatsoever? A cosmos without memory, without experience, without awareness? Perhaps reality continues normally, or perhaps existence itself becomes incomplete without consciousness capable of perceiving it. This idea transforms humanity's role in the cosmos dramatically. Conscious life may not merely be an accidental byproduct of the universe. It may be the mechanism through which the universe becomes visible to itself. Every human mind observing the stars could represent reality briefly awakening inside its own darkness. And one day, that awakening may end. The final observer would not merely witness the death of stars, they would witness the extinction of meaning itself. No future generations remain to inherit knowledge. No civilizations remain to preserve memory. The universe becomes a vast cemetery where even history eventually dissolves. And yet, there is something strangely beautiful hidden inside this terrifying vision. Because for a brief moment between cosmic birth and eternal darkness, the universe produced beings capable of asking questions about existence itself. Creatures made from stardust who looked upward and wondered why reality exists at all. Perhaps that brief awareness is more extraordinary than any eternal cosmos could ever be. But beyond the death of stars, beyond the collapse of civilizations, beyond the extinction of consciousness itself, lies the final and most terrifying frontier. A point where space, time, causality, and meaning begin dissolving together. The place where reality itself reaches its edge. Beyond the edge, the point where reality collapses. There comes a moment in every journey through the cosmos when the human mind reaches a terrifying conclusion. The universe is not merely stranger than we imagined. It may be stranger than reality itself can survive. For thousands of years, humanity searched for the edge of existence. Ancient civilizations imagined walls surrounding the heavens. Philosophers debated whether space extended forever or terminated somewhere beyond the stars. Scientists later replaced mythology with mathematics, believing the universe could ultimately be mapped, measured, and understood through reason. But modern cosmology has led humanity somewhere far more unsettling than a physical boundary in space. It has led us toward the possibility that reality itself begins to dissolve under extreme conditions. Not symbolically, literally. Throughout this journey, one terrifying pattern kept emerging again and again. The universe hides itself. Galaxies vanish beyond unreachable horizons. Time slows and collapses near black holes. Quantum mechanics fractures causality. Space fluctuates beneath perception. Mathematics fails at singularities. Consciousness encounters cognitive limits beyond which understanding becomes impossible. Every path into the deepest layers of existence leads toward instability. It is as though reality contains borders protecting something beyond human comprehension. And perhaps those borders are not accidental, because the deeper science travels into the foundations of the cosmos, the less the universe resembles a stable structure, and the more it resembles a temporary condition balanced above chaos. Imagine approaching the ultimate edge of physical reality itself. Not a wall floating somewhere in space, a threshold where the concepts sustaining existence stop functioning. At first, the collapse appears mathematical. Equations generate infinities and contradictions. Space and time lose consistent definition. Cause and effect separate unpredictably. Physical constants may fluctuate under extreme quantum conditions. But then the collapse becomes philosophical. What does location mean if space-time no longer behaves continuously? What does motion mean if time itself disappears? What does existence mean if observation becomes impossible? Human language begins failing because language evolved inside stable reality. Every word depends on assumptions about sequence, identity, distance, and causality. Beyond certain cosmic conditions, those assumptions may no longer apply. Reality itself may become indescribable. This is the true horror hidden beneath modern cosmology. Not destruction, not death, the breakdown of meaning itself. At the edge of comprehensible existence, the universe may enter conditions where no observer could meaningfully distinguish beginning from ending, matter from energy, space from time, or even existence from non-existence. The boundaries separating concepts dissolve completely, and there are scientific reasons to take this possibility seriously. Inside black holes, known physics collapses into singularity conditions where space-time curvature becomes mathematically infinite. Near the Planck scale, quantum fluctuations may tear apart the smooth structure of reality entirely. Some theories suggest that space-time emerges from deeper informational systems, meaning space itself may not fundamentally exist beneath observable scales. Other models propose multiverses, branching quantum realities, or hidden dimensions where entirely different physical laws operate beyond human perception. Every attempt to discover the foundation of existence reveals deeper instability underneath. The universe behaves less like a finished creation and more like an unfinished process fluctuating at the edge of coherence. And perhaps the most disturbing possibility is this: there may be no ultimate foundation at all. Human beings instinctively assume reality rests upon something final and stable. A deepest law, a fundamental structure, a permanent truth beneath the chaos. But what if existence has no bottom? What if every layer of reality conceals another deeper layer beneath it endlessly? An infinite descent of structures emerging from structures, realities generating realities, dimensions concealed inside dimensions without final resolution. In such a universe, the search for ultimate understanding becomes impossible by definition, not because humanity is unintelligent, because reality itself may be fundamentally unfinished. And suddenly, the fear surrounding the edge of the universe transforms into something even deeper. The edge may not mark the boundary of space. It may mark the boundary where coherent existence itself can no longer sustain form, a region where logic collapses, where observation dissolves, where mathematics loses power, where consciousness encounters conditions it cannot survive conceptually. And perhaps that explains something profound about humanity's place in the cosmos. Maybe consciousness was never meant to perceive ultimate reality directly. Perhaps evolution shaped minds capable of surviving local existence while shielding them from the deeper instability hidden beneath the universe. Because if human beings could fully perceive the true structure of reality, the experience itself might shatter every intuitive framework the mind depends upon to remain sane. The cosmos may not merely contain mystery, it may contain truths fundamentally incompatible with biological consciousness. And still, despite all of this darkness, there remains something extraordinary about the human story. Against impossible odds, in a temporary universe drifting towards silence, matter became alive. Stars forged atoms. Atoms formed worlds. Worlds produced consciousness. And consciousness looked back into the abyss and asked questions about its own existence. Perhaps that is the most miraculous event in the cosmos. Not that the universe exists, but that, for one brief moment between birth and collapse, the universe became capable of witnessing itself. Maybe there is no final answer waiting beyond the edge. Maybe reality never resolves into certainty. Maybe the cosmos is an endless frontier where every discovery reveals deeper mystery beneath it. But tonight, you have traveled to the farthest boundary human thought can approach. Beyond this point, the equations fade, space dissolves, time loses meaning, and the universe disappears into something no mind was ever meant to understand.